The Galactic Council had studied humans for more than 300 years. From the first moment humans left their small blue planet, the galaxy watched them closely. Probes followed their ships. Satellites listened to their words. Artificial minds recorded every human reaction. The conclusion was always the same. Humans were strange. They laughed during danger. They cried when no one was watching. They screamed in fear, then stood up and fought anyway. To the galaxy, this made no sense. In the council hall, a cold, tall alien known as the Speaker of Logic addressed the gathered races. Humans are inefficient, the speaker said. Their decisions are ruled by emotion, not reason. The giant screen behind him showed images of humans on different worlds. A human soldier crying over a fallen friend. A human mother holding her child during an evacuation. A human leader shouting in anger during a battle. These reactions, the speaker continued, prove that emotions are a disease. Many alien leaders nodded. They had no emotions like fear or love. Their minds were clear, quiet, and controlled. They believed emotions only slowed thinking and caused mistakes. One alien general spoke next. When faced with danger, humans hesitate, he said. They remember. They feel regret. This delay can cost lives. Soft sounds of agreement echoed through the hall. At the far end of the chamber stood the human delegation. They were allowed to attend, but not to vote. Not anymore. The humans stood still as the judgment continued. Some felt anger. Some felt sadness. Some felt shame. But none of them spoke. One human scientist, Dr. Elias Monroe, watched the screen carefully. He had spent his life studying not just stars and engines, but people. He knew the aliens were missing something. The Council released its official report that day. Human emotions are a weakness. They reduce efficiency. They increase risk. They must be controlled. The report spread across the galaxy within minutes. Soon after, a new law followed. Humans would no longer be allowed to command mixed-species fleets. Humans would be removed from high strategic roles. Humans would be monitored more closely than any other species. When the announcement reached human space, reactions were immediate. Some humans shouted in anger. Some demanded answers. Some felt fear about the future. But others did something different. They worked harder. In a quiet research station far from the council hall, Dr. Monroe studied old human data. Wars, disasters, rescue missions. He noticed a pattern the aliens never cared about. Whenever humans felt the strongest emotions, they adapted faster. Fear pushed them to invent. Love pushed them to protect. Anger pushed them to resist extinction. Emotions were not random. They were tools. But the galaxy did not want to hear that. A week later, the Council announced a public demonstration. They would prove humans were weak. The event was called a rational trial. A controlled scenario would be shown to the entire galaxy. Humans would be placed in a simulated crisis. Their emotional choices would be compared to pure logic decisions made by alien systems. The goal was simple. Humans were meant to fail. The day of the trial arrived. The council hall was more crowded than ever. Billions watched through live transmission. The Speaker of Logic addressed the galaxy again. Today, we end the debate, he said. Emotion will be exposed for what it truly is. A virtual environment appeared on the screen. A damaged space station. Fire spreading. Limited escape pods. Inside were two groups. One group was human. The other was alien. The rules were announced. Each group could save only one section of the station. One section contained valuable technology. The other contained trapped civilians. Saving both was impossible. The alien system calculated instantly. It chose the technology. Maximum future benefit. Minimum loss. The decision was fast and clean. Then it was the humans' turn. Inside the simulation, the humans argued. Time passed. Alien observers laughed. See, one said. They hesitate. The humans looked at the trapped civilians on the screen. Families, children, elderly. Their voices shook. Their hands trembled. Then they made their choice. They saved the civilians. The galaxy reacted with disbelief. You have failed, the speaker said. You chose emotion over logic. But Dr. Monroe leaned forward. Wait, he whispered. The simulation continued. Because the civilians survived, new information appeared. One of them was a specialist who knew how to stabilize the station core. The station did not explode. Both sections survived. The council hall fell quiet. The speaker's eyes narrowed. That outcome was unexpected, he said, but he quickly recovered. One rare coincidence does not change facts, he added. Humans still rely on unstable emotions. The council voted again. The decision remained unchanged. Humans were still labeled dangerous. As the session ended, Dr. Monroe spoke softly to the human delegate beside him. They still don't understand, he said. Understand what? The delegate asked. Monroe looked at the dock screen. That emotions are not chaos, he said. They are information. Far above the council hall, in deep space, sensors detected something strange. A distant star was collapsing faster than predicted. An alien colony was in its path. Time before destruction, less than 1 hour. The alert had not reached the council yet, but it would, and when it did, the galaxy would face a choice, one that logic alone could not solve. Dr. Monroe closed his eyes. Somewhere deep inside him, fear rose, but so did something stronger, hope. The emergency alert reached the Galactic Council 2 hours after the rational trial ended. A dying star, an alien colony in its path. Evacuation time, less than 40 minutes. For the first time in many cycles, the council hall filled with noise. Alien leaders spoke over each other. Screens flashed data. Artificial minds ran endless calculations. The speaker of logic raised his hand. Silence, he commanded. The hall quieted. Deploy logic fleets, he said. Run probability models. Choose the best outcome. Cold systems answered instantly. The results were clear. The colony could not be saved. Resources required were too great. Risk to fleets was too high. Survival probability remained near zero. The speaker spoke the conclusion aloud. We must abandon the colony. Some alien leaders agreed at once. Others hesitated, not from emotion, but from uncertainty in data. At the edge of the hall, the human delegation listened. Dr. Elias Monroe stepped forward. We can try, he said. The speaker turned slowly. You, the alien asked. Your species already proved its flaw. You hesitate. You choose wrong. Monroe's voice stayed calm. We choose people, he said. That is not wrong. A low sound of amusement moved through the hall. The speaker raised his head. Very well, he said. If humans believe emotions make them superior, we will test that belief. A new decision was announced. Humans would be allowed to attempt a rescue, but with conditions. No alien fleets would assist. No advanced alien weapons. No command authority over others. If the humans failed, their emotional nature would be declared officially dangerous to galactic stability. The test was not fair. It was never meant to be. The broadcast went live across the galaxy. Humans watched from thousands of worlds. Some felt fear. Some felt pride. Some felt doubt. But human ships still launched. Old ships. Fast ships. Rescue ships not built for stars like this. On the lead vessel, Dr. Monroe stood on the bridge. Alarm screamed. The star's gravity pulled hard. Radiation burned systems. Navigation failed again and again. Alien observers watched closely. They will panic, one said. They will retreat, another added. But the humans did neither. They adjusted. When systems failed, they switched to manual control. When heat rose, they vented sections without hesitation. When fear hit, they spoke to each other. Simple words. I've got you. Stay with me. Don't give up. To alien minds, these words meant nothing. To humans, they meant everything. The colony came into view. Massive structures cracked by gravity. Ships trapped in docking bays. Millions waiting in silence. Human commanders face an impossible choice. Save the outer stations, or save the inner habitats. Time was not enough for both. Alien analysts waited for the moment. This is where emotion destroys them, one said. On the human bridge, silence fell. Faces were tired. Hands shook. Fear filled the air. Then Monroe spoke. We split, he said. Others looked at him. That reduces survival chances, a pilot warned. I know, Monroe answered. But if we don't try, everyone dies. No calculation supported his choice. Only feeling. The human fleet divided. Half moved toward the habitats, half toward the outer stations. Ships were lost. Human crews died. Alien observers recorded every failure. See, one said, emotion causes loss. But then something strange happened. Humans inside the colony began to help, not because they were ordered, because they cared. Civilians guided ships through hidden paths. Engineers shared power between failing sections. Families stayed calm, helping strangers instead of panicking. The rescue grew stronger, not weaker. The star flared. Time dropped to minutes. Human ships pushed past limits. One ship lost engines and drifted toward destruction. A nearby human captain turned back. Alien observers gasped. That ship will be lost too, they said. The captain answered simply. No one gets left behind. He docked. Both ships escaped seconds before collapse. The star exploded. The colony survived. The council hall was silent. Data streamed in. Survival numbers far exceeded predictions. The speaker of logic stared at the screen. This should not be possible, he said. Alien minds searched for errors. None were found. Dr. Monroe appeared on the main screen. Tired, injured, alive. You risked everything, the speaker said. For strangers. Monroe nodded. Yes. That was inefficient, the speaker replied. Monroe looked straight into the camera. So is surviving alone, he said. The broadcast ended. Across the galaxy, something shifted. Alien leaders did not cheer. They did not apologize. But they did something new. They questioned their certainty. In the quiet after the rescue, one alien analyst spoke softly to another. Perhaps emotions are not a disease, he said. Perhaps they are something else. Deep in human space, Dr. Monroe rested. His body hurt. His mind was exhausted. But inside his chest, something burned bright. Not pride, not anger, hope, because he knew this was not the end. The galaxy had seen human emotions in action, and it was afraid. The galaxy did not change overnight. Even after the rescue, many alien leaders refused to accept the truth. They told themselves the human success was luck, a rare accident, something that could not be repeated. Emotion is unstable. The speaker of logic said during the next council session, one success does not erase centuries of data. Some aliens agreed, but others were silent, because something else had happened during the rescue. They had felt fear, not simulated fear, not calculated risk, real fear, the kind that made their thoughts slow and their voices shake. And they did not like it. To prove humans were still dangerous, the council ordered another operation. This time, humans would not lead. An alien task force was sent to a border system under attack by an unknown threat. The mission was simple: defend a mining world and eliminate the enemy. No humans were invited. Pure logic would handle it. The alien fleet arrived in perfect formation. Every move was planned. Every weapon was timed. The enemy ships were strange, fast, unpredictable, and aggressive. Alien systems analyzed them instantly. Enemy patterns detected. The fleet mind announced. Optimal response selected. The alien ships attacked with precision. At first, everything worked. Enemy ships fell. Defenses held. Probability of victory rose. Then the enemy changed tactics. They rushed civilian zones. They ignored losses. They attacked without logic. The alien fleet hesitated. Their models did not update fast enough. They had no rule for enemies who did not care about survival. Civilian stations began to fall. The alien commander requested new calculations. Time passed. People died. Fear spread, not in bodies, but in data. Systems showed losses increasing. For the first time, the alien commander felt something new. Not emotion, but confusion. The council watched the battle live. This is impossible, one leader said. Their strategy makes no sense. That is the problem, another replied. We cannot predict them. As the situation collapsed, the unthinkable happened. The alien commander sent a message. To humans. Dr. Monroe received it while recovering. The message was short. requesting assistance. Monroe did not smile. He stood up. Human fleets moved again. This time, the galaxy watched in silence. When humans entered the battle zone, they did not wait for data. They saw burning stations. They heard panicking voices. They felt urgency. Human captains made fast decisions. Not perfect ones, but human ones. They protected civilians first. They adapted to enemy chaos. They took risks aliens never would. One human pilot chased an enemy ship into an unstable asteroid field. Alien observers protested. "That is suicidal," they said. The pilot answered calmly. "I know how fear works," he said. "So do they." He used it. He pushed the enemy into mistakes. Human ships began to turn the battle. Alien systems tried to copy human behavior. They failed. You cannot copy feeling with code. As the enemy retreated, the mining world survived. The alien fleet was damaged, but alive. Back in the council hall, silence returned. The speaker of logic spoke slowly. "Our models failed," he admitted. Dr. Monroe stood on the central platform again. "Because logic breaks," he said, "when reality stops following rules." The speaker looked at him. "An emotion does not?" he asked. Monroe shook his head. "No," he said. "Emotion adapts." An alien elder rose from his seat. "For the first time," the elder said, "we face an enemy we could not understand." He looked at the human, and humans understood them, because you feel. The word felt strange in his mouth. Fear. Across the galaxy, alien citizens watched the broadcasts. Some felt discomfort, some felt curiosity, and some felt something dangerous. Respect. But not all aliens accepted this change. In the dark between stars, the unknown enemy watched human tactics closely. They learned. They adapted. They prepared. The next conflict would be worse. Dr. Monroe knew it. As he looked at the stars, his heart beat faster. Fear rose inside him again. But fear did not stop him. It warned him. And that warning might save the galaxy. After the battle of the mining world, the Galactic Council could no longer ignore the truth. Logic had failed. Not once, not twice, but again and again. The council hall filled with uneasy silence. Alien leaders reviewed reports in private. Numbers told one story. Memory told another. Humans were different. Not because of their ships. Not because of their weapons. Because of how they felt. The speaker of logic called an emergency session. "For understanding," he said, "not judgment." It was the first time those words were used together. Dr. Elias Monroe stood before the council once more. This time, no one laughed. "We want answers," the speaker said. "Explain your emotions." Monroe nodded. "Fear," he began, "is not weakness. It tells us danger is near." He gestured to the screens. When fear rises, humans focus. We react faster. We survive. The screen showed humans escaping disasters, adapting under pressure. "Love," Monroe continued, "makes us protect others, even when it costs us." Images appeared of humans shielding strangers, sharing air, giving up escape pods. "And anger," he said, "gives us strength when survival is threatened." The aliens watched closely. They had anger in conflict, but not this kind. Not focused, not purposeful. These feelings, Monroe said, work together. They are signals. They are tools. An alien scientist raised a limb. "But emotions are unstable," it said. "They cause mistakes." "Yes," Monroe agreed. "So does logic." The whole stirred. "We fail," Monroe said. "But when we fail, we learn. Emotion remembers pain. Logic forgets it." The speaker of logic was silent. Then the galaxy screamed. A new alert cut through the hall. Not one system. Not one world. Multiple signals. The unknown enemy had returned. Stronger. Faster. Smarter. They attacked border worlds at the same time. Alien fleets scrambled. Human fleets launched without waiting. For the first time, the Council did not stop them. The battles were chaos. Enemy ships changed tactics every minute. They copied alien logic. They copied human aggression. But they could not copy one thing: Human connection. Human ships stayed close. Pilots spoke constantly. They warned each other of danger before systems could. Behind you. I see it. Move now. One human ship was hit hard, hull failing, life support dropping. An alien ship nearby calculated survival odds. Too low. It prepared to withdraw. Then the alien captain heard something over open channel. A human voice. "We're not leaving," the voice said. The alien hesitated. Something pulled at its mind. It turned back. It fired on the enemy. The human ship survived. The alien ship survived too. Later, that alien captain would struggle to name the feeling inside. It was not logic. It was not fear. It was trust. Across the battlefront, humans made impossible choices. They sacrificed ships to save worlds. They stayed when logic said run. They fought when fear said hide. Losses were heavy, but so were victories. The enemy retreated again. This time, not because of force, because of resistance they could not break. After the battles, the council reconvened. Alien leaders looked tired. "Change. We observed something new," an elder said. Human emotion spread. Monroe nodded. "They do," he said, "because emotions are shared." The speaker of logic lowered his head slightly. "For the first time," he said, "we see strength where we once saw disease." Outside the council hall, stars burned quietly. The galaxy was changing, but not fast enough. Deep in unknown space, the enemy prepared a final move, one designed not to defeat logic, but to crush hearts. And Dr. Monroe felt it coming. A deep, heavy fear, the kind that comes before the hardest choice. The final attack began without warning. No signals, no threats, no time to prepare. Entire star systems went dark in seconds. The unknown enemy did not target fleets first. They targeted hope. Communication relays were destroyed. Civilian worlds were isolated. Fear spread faster than any ship. The Galactic Council panicked. Logic systems demanded data. There was none. Probability models failed instantly. For the first time in galactic history, the Council had no plan. Dr. Elias Monroe stood in the hall as alarms echoed. "They want us afraid," he said. The speaker of logic looked at him. "Fear destroys stability," the speaker replied. Monroe shook his head. "No," he said quietly. "Fear reveals what matters." Screens lit up. Enemy ships surrounded a core world, an ancient alien civilization older than most stars. Evacuation time. Impossible. Alien leaders froze. That world was sacred. Losing it would break the galaxy's spirit. Silence filled the hall. Then Monroe spoke. "We will go." The speaker stared. "You will die," he said. "Yes," Monroe answered. "Some of us." The council did not vote. They did not argue. They watched. Human fleets launch in numbers never seen before. Not soldiers alone. Rescue ships. Medical ships. Civilian volunteers. Across human space, people answered the call. Parents hugged children goodbye. Pilots recorded final messages. Engineers worked until their hands bled. They were afraid. And they went anyway. Alien observers watched in shock. "They know they cannot win," one whispered. "They know," another replied. "And they still go." The battle at the core world was brutal. Enemy weapons were stronger. Human ships fell fast. But humans did not break. When one ship was destroyed, another filled the gap. When one captain fell, another took command. Human voices filled the channels. "Hold the line." "Stay with me." "For them." The words carried no tactical value, but they changed everything. Alien ships joined the fight. Not by order, by choice. One by one, alien captains followed humans into danger. Logic screamed retreat. Something else whispered stay. The enemy did not understand this. Their weapons caused pain. But pain only made humans fight harder. When the final enemy flagship was destroyed, silence followed. Not celebration. Not cheers. Silence. The core world survived. Barely. Millions lived because humans refused to leave. Back in the council hall, no one spoke. The speaker of logic rose slowly. He removed the symbol of his rank. a gesture never seen before. "We were wrong," he said. His voice carried across the galaxy. "We called emotions a disease." He turned to the human delegation. "But today, emotion saved us all." Across countless worlds, the broadcast played. Aliens watched humans cry for the dead. Humans mourned losses openly. No one laughed. No one mocked. The galaxy fell silent, not from fear, but from understanding. Dr. Monroe closed his eyes. Inside him was grief, and pride, and something new. Unity. The war was not over, but the lie was. The days after the great battle felt different. Across the galaxy, ships moved more slowly. Voices were quieter. Even the stars seemed less distant. The war had not ended, but something inside the galaxy had changed forever. For the first time, alien worlds sent messages to human space. Not demands, not warnings. Thanks. Dr. Elias Monroe stood in the Galactic Council hall once again. This time, he was not alone. Human officers stood beside alien commanders. Species that once avoided humans now stood close to them. The speaker of logic addressed the chamber. "Our systems no longer deny the truth," he said. "Human emotions did what logic could not." He paused. "We mocked what we did not understand." The speaker turned to the human delegation. "We offer humans permanent command roles in all mixed-species fleets," he said. "We offer authority." A quiet wave passed through the hall. This was power the galaxy had never shared before. Monroe looked at the humans beside him. Then he shook his head. "No," he said. Alien leaders reacted with shock. "You refuse?" the speaker asked. "We do," Monroe replied, "because power over others is not what saved the galaxy." The hall grew still. "What do you propose instead?" an elder asked. "Partnership," Monroe said. "Shared command, shared risk, shared loss." Some aliens protested. Shared loss was inefficient. Shared risk was dangerous. But others remembered the battle. They remembered staying instead of running. The council voted. For the first time, humans and aliens voted together. The decision passed. A new doctrine was born. Emotion-guided strategy. Human officers began training alien fleets. Not in feelings. In understanding them. Fear as a warning. Anger as focus. Compassion as strength. Alien minds struggled at first. They were slow to trust. Slow to act without full data. But human presence changed that. On patrol missions, humans spoke openly. They shared doubts. They admitted fear. Aliens listened. Some tried to copy human behavior. It failed. Others learned to work beside it. That worked. On one distant outpost, an alien commander faced an ambush. Logic said retreat. The human officer beside him felt something was wrong. "Not yet," she said. "They're waiting for us to run." The alien hesitated, then stayed. The ambush failed. Lives were saved. Word spread. Respect replaced mockery. Across the galaxy, human culture began to influence others. Alien children watched human stories. Alien leaders studied human history. Alien soldiers trained with human units. They learned that humans were not fearless. They were afraid all the time. They just chose to act anyway. Dr. Monroe watched this change with caution. Respect could turn into dependence, and dependence could be dangerous. He addressed the council privately. "Do not follow humans blindly," he warned. "Understand us. Question us. Emotions guide, but they do not replace thought." The speaker of logic nodded. "We are learning balance," he said. But balance attracted attention. From beyond the galaxy, sensors detected movement. Massive, coordinated, intentional. The unknown enemy had not retreated. They had watched. They had learned something terrifying. They had learned how humans fought, and they planned to use it. As alerts spread, Dr. Monroe felt a familiar weight in his chest. Fear. But now, he felt something else too. Trust. Because this time, humans would not stand alone. The final war did not begin with an attack. It began with silence. Across the outer edge of the galaxy, stars vanished from sensors. Not destroyed. Not captured. Simply gone. The unknown enemy had changed. They no longer rushed. They no longer chased. They waited. The Galactic Council gathered one last time. Human and alien leaders stood together now. No walls. No distance. They learn from us, the speaker of logic said. They copy fear. They copy sacrifice. Dr. Elias Monroe nodded. Yes, he said, but they still don't understand it. Understand what? An alien commander asked. Monroe looked around the room. Why we feel, he said. The enemy fleet appeared, larger than anything before, perfectly silent. Their first move was cruel. They transmitted memories, images of destroyed worlds, voices of the dead. Fear meant to break minds. Alien crews froze. Human crews felt the pain fully. Some cried, some screamed, some wanted to run. And then they did something the enemy never expected. They stayed connected. Human captains opened all channels. Don't face it alone. We feel it too. Stay with us. Alien crews listened. They felt something strange rise inside them. Not fear, courage. The enemy attacked. The battle was chaos. No clear lines. No clean data. No perfect strategy. But humans adapted faster than ever. They fought with logic when needed. They fought with emotion when it mattered. Alien fleets followed human leads. Not orders. Trust. At the center of the battle, the enemy revealed their final weapon, a device designed to overload emotional response. Pain intensified. Fear multiplied. Hope collapsed. Alien systems shut down to protect logic cores. Human ships did not. Human crews suffered. But they held. Dr. Monroe stood on the bridge of the lead ship. Tears ran down his face. Hands shaking. Heart racing. He spoke softly. This hurts because we care, he said. And caring is why we will win. Human ships formed a shield. Not of metal. Of resolve. Alien ships joined them. Together. The device failed. Because emotion could not be turned against those who accepted it. The enemy broke. For the first time, they retreated not from damage, but from understanding. The battle ended. The galaxy lived. In the silence after, the Council broadcast one final message. The speaker of logic spoke. His voice changed forever. We once laughed at human emotions, he said. He paused. We will never laugh again. Across the galaxy, monuments were built, not to victories, to sacrifice. Alien worlds adopted new teachings. Children learned that fear warns, that love protects, that courage is action despite fear. Dr. Elias Monroe stood beneath the stars. The war was over. The galaxy was safe, not because humans were the strongest, but because they were the most human. And the galaxy finally understood. Emotions were never a disease. They were the cure. End of story.